A number of dignitaries have come, including the Governor of the Falklands, Alan Huckle, and the Minister of Veterans, Derek Twigg. Commander British Forces, Brigadier Davies, is also here.
The reading is St Paul's Epistle to Romans chapter 8, verses 18 to 25. I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory about to be revealed to us. For in hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope. For who hopes for what is seen? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it in patience.
I would just like to say, on occasions like this, humble soldiers are very rarely ever asked to say anything. I'm not on the programme, but I'd just like to say this. We heard from the Veterans Minister. 308 young men have committed suicide since the end of this war. And most of them committed suicide because what they saw is the neglect of the politicians. So I have a small poem to say. Every year, on Remembrance Sunday, I sit in the corner of a British Legion bar, dressed in blazer, shirt, regimental tie, polished shoes, with my head held high. But deep in my mind, where nobody goes, I see a wooden cross, where the wind of victory blows. 3 cheers for victory, I heard the politicians say, but they never asked me about my victory. And if they did, I would have explained it this way. It isn't your flags or your emblems of war, or your marching of troops past the palace's door. It isn't Mrs. Thatcher on the balcony high, reaffirming her pledge to serve or die. But it's the look and the pain on a teenager's face as he dies for his country in a far-off place. It's the guns and the shells and the phosphorus grenades, the dead and the wounded, the freshly cut graves. Or a grieving wife with a fatherless child whose young tender life will be forever defiled. Or the alcoholic soldier with a shattered mind who takes the suicide option for some peace to find. Well, that's my victory, but no one knows if it's deep in my mind where nobody goes.
Although Gus's intervention wasn't expected, it seems to have struck a chord with fellow veterans.
That has been the most moving part of the week. It was absolutely fantastic. We can put it in the snippet. It was for people like you. People like you. It's important.
It's all of us, mate.
Yeah,
all of us.
It gets lost, doesn't it?
Yeah. Didn't they, though?
I stopped going to Remembrance Sunday a long time ago to services like this, because the establishment kicks into place and the story of the humble soldier or the grieving parent or the sister and brother is kind of lost. So I wrote that poem with that intention, and it just sat there all through the service, really nervous, thinking if the moment presents itself, I'll just go for it. And I got up and I just went for it. The war doesn't end on the day of the ceasefire. Have some compassion and put the structures in place where people can be treated for psychological injuries, can have a self-respect and can move on from things like this to live fruitful and productive lives.
But we're very supportive of combat stress, and we've increased their funding now from January next year by 46%. So we're very sure, that we want to support them, and bringing back veterans here is clearly helpful for many of them. But also, I extended the medical assessment programme, which is based at St Thomas's Hospital, where they can get a mental health assessment back to 1982. So Falkland veterans can actually get this assessment from what will be a person who's a psychiatrist who's served in the military himself.
The last few years I've seen the career of Mr. Twigg. And he is, yes, he does seem to be a compassionate guy, and he does seem to be moving in the right direction. But he needs to do more, and he needs to let people know in our places that the war just doesn't end on the day of the ceasefire.